Well. I don't have much time, but I gotta make sure I get this in this week. It is time for the Dallas Cowboys preview show. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Yep. Let's go. Man, I had a meeting today that went way over. But nevertheless, I am back with the Cowboys family. This right here is the biggest game of the season for the Cowboys. It gets no bigger than this. Let's go. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member, subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up the rest of this season. Now let's talk facts. This is the biggest game of the season for the Cowboys. And the reason why it's the biggest game of the season, the Cowboys truly control their own destiny. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm gonna make a bold prediction. If the Cowboys win out, they're going to the playoffs. It don't matter what anyone else, they're going to the playoffs. Because I promise you, 11 wins will get you in the dance. 11 wins is going to get you in the dance, especially if you're 11-5-1. Not only will you have 11 wins, but you'll only have 5 losses. If anybody even ties with you, you're going in before them. This is a very important game. It's the biggest stage. It's a playoff atmosphere. It will be the most watched game of the season, I guarantee you. It might even surpass the Super Bowl. This is a huge game. The Cowboys will be on the big stage. Talk is cheap, bullcorn runs a marathon. The Cowboys have got to put up or shut up. So today it is going to be simple. The only thing we are talking about is the Dallas Cowboy preview show and what do the Cowboys need to do to win. Let's keep this going. I'm gonna keep it short. Let's get a roll call in. Let's keep that music hyped up. My man, the Big Rumbowski. My man, he said, pre-turkey day and coffee. And the Cowboys back with the G. Let's go, Big Rumbowski. My wife is in there, man. I can smell, man. Rumbowski, let me tell you something, man. Your boy gonna have to go on a serious, I gotta get back serious about my workouts, man. I gotta get back in the gym after this doggone Thanksgiving, because I already know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Lord willing, man, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm gonna eat so much dressing. Just give me 2 cans, just give me my own 2 personal cans of cranberry sauce, because I'm tearing up some dressing tomorrow. I'm gonna eat dressing all day long. Only time I won't be eating dressing is when y'all not only gonna see me once, y'all gonna see me twice tomorrow. Y'all know how we do it. Big Moss Dog in this thing. Moss Logan, John Jones, I already told you. It's a New Jack City. What up? Justin Bradley in this thing. What up with you? He said Thanksgiving tomorrow, surrounded by family. Let me tell you something, Justin Bradley. Let me tell you something, Justin Bradley. Thanksgiving is I like Thanksgiving way more than I like Christmas. Thanksgiving is God-made. Christmas is man-made. Thanksgiving is commanded in the Bible. It is a time, man, when giving thanks is one of the greatest gifts you can give. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give, man. It's a great time, man. I love it, and I'm tearing up some food. Jeanette Rogers. What up? Yay, Ma. Big Dow. Where you been, 8060? What up, Big Dow? Dak owns felt it. What up? It is the Juice Man. What up, Juice Man? Randall Armstrong in this thing. What up, Caitlin? What up with you? Dominique Pittman, my man. What up? It is JCT Slice, number one Dak Prescott fan. I'm number two. JCT Slice says they're going to win. Mahomes sacked 3+ times, one pick. Dak Prescott 300 total yards at least, with at least 2 scores, 31-28 Cowboys. Book it. Now, we're giving away that George Pickens jersey. But let me make sure we all understand. You're not getting that jersey unless you get the exact score. So make sure you hit me in my email address with that score. Tell me what the score is going to be. And you must have the exact score to win that George Pickens jersey. And by the way, we're going to give away that DeMario Overshown jersey. Whoever gets... So, the first person who gets it right will get the jersey of their choice. The second person that gets it right, they'll get the jersey that's left. So I'm giving away a George Pickens and a DeMario Overshown jersey. Yeah, let's go. Jacob Jackson, he said, "Oh, gee, we smoking on them Chiefs packs tomorrow." Hey, let me tell you something, Jacob Jackson. 11-5 is possible. But it's got to be one game at a time, and we got to get this thing tomorrow. Dominique Pittman said, "Time to get in there like swimwear." Let's go. All right, man, let me get this thing going. I don't have but a few minutes. I got about 49 minutes, so I want to get this whole thing in. Want to get y'all comments in as I read the chat. I appreciate y'all. Best chat on YouTube. Let's go. Yeah, Mark Lozano, what up? Alex 4099, what's going on with you? Oh, it is none other than Brandy, she says, as always. Hey, my loves. Al Gold, what's good with you? Good to see you. Let's go. All right, Robert Dudley in this thing. Hey, y'all make sure y'all start putting them scores in. Robert Dudley, he said 3 Brian Day turkey in the oven. Oh, I know that's gonna be good. Robert Dudley, I went on to let my wife order a Greenberg turkey this year, Robert Dudley. We're gonna see what it do. What up, Big Z? Let's go. Let's go. Derek Jones up in this thing. KH8641. Michael Tyree. All right, I appreciate y'all rocking with me on the day before Thanksgiving. Hey, Michael Tyree, he said, one of my favorite days of the year, family, food, and football. Oh, I love it. I love Thanksgiving, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's that day, you give the greatest gift you can give. You give thanks, man. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give. One of the greatest gifts you can give. All right, let's get into this Dallas Cowboys preview show.
Yes! Here we go!
I'm telling y'all now, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all already know this. This game gonna be huge. This game is going to be huge, not just because it is the Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. But both of them have a lot going. They have a lot riding on this game, especially the Dallas Cowboys. Hold on, let me put that email in the chat. Bam! There it is. Just put my email address in the chat. Y'all give me your scores. To win those jerseys, I'm going to need exact scores. Exact scores. Jeffrey Bell, what up, Jeffrey Bell? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's check this thing out. So yesterday, we went over the Cowboys' road to the playoffs. And I'm going to release that video later on today for everybody to see. I started my series on the Cowboys' road to the playoffs about 3 weeks ago, and we finally got some people starting to get on that bandwagon. Starting to get on that bandwagon. The more the Cowboys win, the more of a possibility this is. And I still say the Cowboys, the easiest road, and it's not an easy road, but the Cowboys got to win out. If the Cowboys win out, they're in. I'm telling you. Yeah, Philip Williams, we'll get this thing started. He said we need to be consistent putting pressure on putting pressure on Mahomes. I got you. Yeah. All right, so let's get this thing cooking. Let's start cooking. So, start cooking, gets a little music in the background. Slow and low. So, Chiefs versus the Cowboys week 13. Let's get it. So, storylines. These are the storylines I came up with, and I'm telling you right now, guys, these storylines are humongous. Number one, Patrick Mahomes versus Dak Prescott. They're not playing against each other directly, but this is the story of the game. Because if Dak Prescott, I've told y'all before, Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. I've always said this, and right now Dak Prescott is arguably the best quarterback in the league. The only person that could probably argue with me is Matthew Stafford over there with the Rams, because he's been balling this year. Matthew Stafford, man, he's been balling this year. And it don't mean that Patrick Mahomes necessarily isn't a top 5 quarterback. But so far this year, Dak Prescott has been balling. Patrick Mahomes, he's from near my hometown. He's from White House, Texas. I'm from Jacksonville, Texas. Patrick Mahomes is a legend in the East Texas area. Patrick Mahomes has played plenty of games at Texas Stadium. He'll be right at home at Texas Stadium. He's going to have a lot of family there. He's going to have a lot of fan base when he comes to Dallas. So this is a huge, huge matchup. Patrick Mahomes versus Dak Prescott. Hey, you want to be the man? If you want to be the man, y'all know the rest. You got to beat the man. And if Dak Prescott want to be the man, beat the man. Hey, we already knew Dak Prescott was better than Jalen Hurts. It's shameful that people were saying this year, Dak Prescott's the worst quarterback in the NFC East. What? Where them folks at now? Let me tell y'all something. Another big storyline I have heard nobody talking about. Brian Schottenheimer versus Steve Spagnuolo. This is huge. I'm telling y'all this is huge. Brian Schottenheimer, we got to be honest. Brian Schottenheimer has not been calling good games. Brian Schottenheimer, man, he took this league by storm. First six games. Since those first 6 games. And, hey, we're going to give Shotty his flowers because we riding with it, because Shotty has built a great culture. He's built a don't quit culture. I mean, he's done a lot of things great inside this culture. But the last 4 games, man, I'm just telling you, some of this stuff for me has been reminiscent of Mike McCarthy. I mean, this team last week, we got to be honest. They won despite Brian Schottenheimer. Very bad call game, very bad decisions, absolutely managed the timeouts wrong. I mean, just all kinds of things. Throwing the ball 3 times on the 2-yard line. I mean, Brian didn't take the points, went for it twice on 4th down, did the same thing against Arizona, put the Cowboys behind the 8 ball against Arizona, put them behind the 8 ball against the doggone Philadelphia Eagles. Defense and the special teams rose to the occasion. But you don't get that opportunity every single week. Got to stop playing. And I'm telling y'all right now, Brian Schottenheimer versus Steve Spagnuolo is going to be a big deal. Because I promise you, they've been studying him. They have been studying Brian Schottenheimer. It's a big deal. He's got to call the game of his life to win this game. Next, let me tell y'all something. Andy Reid versus Matt Eberflus. Nobody else is talking about these 2 matchups. But I'm telling y'all right now, these are the storylines. These are the real storylines. I mean, at least based on what I say. But I'm telling you, Steve Spagnuolo, Super Bowl championship coach before he came to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if I'm not mistaken, they have a top 10 defense. We're going to look at that in just a moment. Andy Reid against Matty Eberflus. If you've ever seen a coach that can exploit weaknesses, it's Andy Reid. If y'all think Ben Johnson and some of these guys we've seen have done some of the things to the Cowboys that we know they didn't have Quentin Williams, Logan Wilson, Overshawn wasn't back, Savon Revel Jr. wasn't back and all of that, but I'm telling you, even when you got a good defense, I got news for us. Even when you got a good defense and a great defensive coordinator, Andy Reid is still a handful. And he still has Patrick Mahomes. And he still has Travis Kelce. Pacheco is back. They got a few weapons on that team. Not like they used to. But those guys, it is still Patrick Mahomes, and they are still dangerous. Next storyline. Trey Smith is out. Their best offensive lineman. This storyline right here is going to be huge. Because with that Dallas Cowboys defensive front right now, somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble because an offensive guard, a backup offensive guard, we're going to talk about this in a moment, is going against Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams is going to give starting guards all kinds of problems. What do you think they're going to do to a backup? This is going to be a big deal, a very big deal. And when the Cowboys run that 5-man front, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Trey Smith is out, their best offensive lineman. Another storyline, Tyler Guyton is out. Tyler Guyton is out, Nate Thomas is in. We're going to see what Nate Thomas looks like. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. I mean, even if Guyton was in, I'd still be a little bit worried. So we're going to see what Nate Thomas does. That's going to be a big deal. He's protecting Dak Prescott's blind side. And again, I talked about this already. Patrick Mahomes returns to Texas Stadium. I'm telling y'all, Patrick Mahomes is looking at this like a home game. Patrick Mahomes is looking at this like a home game. Patrick Mahomes not looking at this like, hey, I'm a visiting quarterback. He's going to have his own cheering section. You watch what I tell you. People around East Texas love Patrick Mahomes. And then the final storyline of this section. Will CeeDee Lamb bounce back? I'm going to talk about this a little bit more when I get to the offensive storylines, when I get very specific. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. Incredulous, what up with you? He said they haven't had a ton of time to study Shotty's tendencies, which are all over the map anyway. Yeah. Incredulous, let me tell you what I think the Kansas City Chiefs have done. And I could be wrong, but I got a strange feeling that I'm right. The Kansas City Chiefs played real sloppy against the Indianapolis Colts last week. Probably shouldn't have won that game. Incredulous, you watch what I tell you. They're going to be up for the Dallas Cowboys. This is a playoff game for them. It's a playoff game for the Cowboys. It's a playoff game for them. They're kind of on the outside looking in too. Yeah, they got to get in too. They lose this game, it is detrimental for them. They got to win this game. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They have to win this game. No, they're going to be ready for the Cowboys. I got a strange feeling they've been getting ready for the Cowboys. Yeah, they was ready for the Colts. Hey, we got to get ready for the Colts. But it's a short week, and we want to be real ready for the Cowboys. Because prime time, Thanksgiving, all eyes on y'all. I'm telling you, wouldn't it be crazy if this was a Super Bowl preview? Wouldn't it be crazy the Cowboys beat the Chiefs? The Chiefs and the Cowboys both climb their way all the way into the playoffs, go through the playoffs as a wild card, and they be the two teams that meet in the Super Bowl. Would that not be crazy? Man, I'm telling you, Cowboys is trying to, I think the NFL is trying to get some kind of big TV deal or something. Boy, you want to create some drama? This would be an incredible story. But I digress. This is going to be a big game. Incredulous? I think they're going to be ready for the Cowboys, but I also think the Cowboys are going to be ready for them. Mark Lozano, he said Post Malone, big Cowboy fan. Yeah, I've noticed that. Anthony Jefferson, KC, has only won one game on the road. '70s Fan Show said the Chiefs stopped Jonathan Taylor. We have to be ready to try a different running attack. Oh, man. '70s Fan Show? Hey, you wait till I get to the run. Wait till I get to the run game part. I'm about to tell you something about that run game stuff you're talking about. The big Rombowski said, my biggest prediction for tomorrow. He said Taylor Swift makes a surprise appearance during Post Malone's halftime show. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, incredulous. Take his torch. Man, Dak Prescott wins this game tomorrow. You think people are talking about Dak Prescott now? Oh, there are going to be a lot of people on Dak Prescott bandwagon. They win tomorrow. And I do think they're winning tomorrow. I'm just spoiling it right now. I think they're winning tomorrow. I do. I think they're winning tomorrow. The Cowboys right now are on an emotional high. Not a roller coaster, an emotional high. They got 2 wins. They're the Marshawn Kneeland thing, but let me put something else on here too, because I don't think it's just the Marshawn Kneeland thing. Let me tell you something. When you get a brand new pair of shoes, you wear that suit different. You wear them clothes different. Man, they put Quentin Williams up in this thing, and Logan Wilson bought Overshown back, bought Savon Revel Jr. back, man, and that in itself lifted up the Cowboys. Oh yeah, that lifted them up. All right, let's keep going here. Next up, injury report. I've seen the injury report, but for the most part, these are the 2 big things on the injury report, because everyone else on that injury report they are playing. But Tyler Guyton is out for the Cowboys. And again, I don't really know if this is going to be a big deal for the Cowboys, because Guyton, as much as he's improved, maybe Thomas is as good. We'll see. Big Rombowski said Thomas may not be as skilled as Guyton, but at least with Nate, there doesn't come the risk of the bonehead penalties. Yeah, I think he may play pretty good. But I also think the Cowboys are going to have a game plan. I think they're going to continue to try to kill teams with those slants, hitting those slants to George Pickens, hitting those slants to CeeDee Lamb. I think they're going to continue to try and do those. So they're going to try to nullify any pass rush the Kansas City Chiefs could get. And the big one for the Kansas City Chiefs is Trey Smith is out. This is a huge deal for the Kansas City Chiefs. A huge deal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Offensive comparison.
Here we go.
Man, let me tell you something. The Cowboys have been putting on a show. They had a little bit of a slump for, what was it? Was it 2 games? Denver Broncos, Arizona Cardinals. I mean, they had a real slump. But because they've been so good the rest of the season, and then what they did against the Raiders, and then what they've now done against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cowboys still have, if I'm not mistaken, they have the number 1 overall offense. So the Cowboys, yards per play goes to the Cowboys, points per play goes to the Cowboys, the rush play percentage almost equal, pass play percentage almost equal, even though the Cowboys from this point forward, they lead in every other category. Dak Prescott, 69% completion percentage. Cowboys got to work on this 3rd down conversion percentage. This is pretty bad. They need to be better than 42.64%. They have struggled on 3rd down. Red zone percentage, 61%. They've struggled some there too. They have got to, and I think one of the issues is is the Cowboy. I think Brian Schottenheimer gets a little too cute on short down yardages. Brian's got to be better with that. When I look at the offensive position comparison, so let me explain this. What you're looking at by position, you'll notice. All right, let me correct something real quick. You'll notice that when you look at by position, what I've done is you will notice that I have Patrick Mahomes. And let me make one quick correction. You'll notice when you look at this that I have actually I have the quarterback edge going to the Dallas Cowboys rather than Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, you'll know. Yeah, I want to make sure I change the name here. All right, see here. All right, so you'll notice that at the quarterback position, I have given the Dallas Cowboys the edge. And the reason why I'm giving the Dallas Cowboys the edge, this is the same thing that I'm trying to explain to people to get out of your feelings about George Pickens and CD Lamb. You don't have to say that Dak Prescott is better than Patrick Mahomes, but he's better this year. That's the issue. They're both top 5 quarterbacks. But this year, Dak Prescott overall is playing the quarterback position this year. This is not an argument over their careers. This is the facts of right now, or as I like to say, right now. Dak Prescott is the better quarterback of the two right now. And that's why when I talk about George Pickens, because people are trying to protect the ego of a grown man who don't need his ego protected because he ain't worried about what people are saying as far as that goes. George Pickens, and I'm going to talk about that some more as we get into this offense. George Pickens right now is the best receiver in the league. And if you just listen to what the stats they're showing, I mean, this stuff is incredible when you look at the tear that George Pickens is on right now. We don't have to say that while we dissing CD Lamb because we're saying what George Pickens is right now. We got to stop being those type of fans. And we ought to be relishing in the fact and thankful that CD Lamb has been a top 3 receiver for the last few years, and now we got George Pickens in here, and he has exceeded everyone's expectation, at least with the exception of Dak Prescott, if you let him tell it. But I think if Dak Prescott was being honest, nobody knew George Pickens was coming to the Cowboys and doing this. Still, George Pickens is playing alien status right now. And I'm just saying all that to say, when I say that Dak Prescott right now is better than Patrick Mahomes, I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about over his career. Cowboys at the running back position. I think the Chiefs have more running backs, but I think the Cowboys right now are better at running back. Javonte Williams has been doggone good. Now, the Chiefs are getting Pacheco back. So we'll see what Pacheco looks like when he gets back up in here. But the running back position, I mean, the Cowboys got the running back position. Wide receiver, there's nobody better than the Cowboys right now. The Dallas Cowboys have the best wide receiver duo in the league. It isn't even close. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are not close. They are not close to CD Lamb and George Pickens right now. Because if you were to ask me last year, who would I take last year as the number 1 wide receiver? Well, I want y'all to remember something. Anybody remember something about Jamar Chase last year? Anybody remember Jamar Chase putting up video game bonker numbers? Anybody remember what it was last year for? Anybody remember what it was last year for Jamar Chase? It was a contract season. It was a contract season. And Jamar Chase went on a historical run last year in a contract season. Guess what? George Pickens, he's in a contract season. And he's on a historical run. Bottom line, it is what it is. I would take George Pickens right now over every wide receiver in the game. Now, the only wide receiver that could probably argue with me right now is Jackson Smith from Seattle. He balling too. He's just not as electric as George Pickens is. I mean, George Pickens is climbing up in the sky right now like Luke Skywalker. Offensively, I think the Cowboys' offensive line, especially with the Kansas City Chiefs missing Trey Smith, I think the Cowboys' offensive line is better than the Kansas City Chiefs' offensive line. Now, are y'all ready for the great equalizer? Even though I think the Cowboys are better overall, there are two places where they make up a lot of ground on all of these advantages the Cowboys have. Are you ready? You can already see it. When you look at the tight end position, Travis Kelce ain't what he used to be. But that boy is still, you still got to watch Travis Kelce. And they have another tight end, I forget his name, but he's pretty good too. I think at the tight end position, they got us beat. And that's a key position. I think they have us beat. But this is the great equalizer for the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid. Matt Eberflus is going to have his hands full. Matt Eberflus is going to have his hands full. Matt Eberflus has had two very good games. Two very good games. Still got more work to do. It's a short week. So he's going to have to build on a short week and go against Patrick Mahomes. And we'll talk about the keys to beating Patrick Mahomes as well as beating Dak Prescott, because I want to come back to a thought that the big Rombowski just put up, which is exactly what I talked about yesterday, and I'm going to mention it again today. So, defensive stat comparison. I want to make sure I put this up again. We talked about it the other day. The Cowboys' first 9 games, guys, the first 9 games for the Cowboys have been atrocious. There is no getting around it. The first 9 games for the Cowboys have been atrocious. And this is one of the reasons why. And we're going to dig a little bit deeper into, before we move on even to the defense, let me make sure we go up here and look at a few more things about the rankings of these teams before I run over to the defense. Let me make sure and pull up a couple more things just to kind of show you where they are ranked offensively, and then we'll flip back to the defense. Let's see here. Kansas City versus the Cowboys. All right, let's go a little bit deeper here. All right, so let's get a little bit deeper here. Both of these offenses, if I'm not mistaken, they are in the top 10. Both of them are in the top 10. The Cowboys are the number 1 overall defense. Offense, though. The Cowboys are the number 1 overall defense. Let me flip over here just for a moment. But Kansas City Chiefs, they're ranked number 9 as far as points per game. Yards per game, they're number 5. Points per play, they're number 14. Just to put a little bit more context on what we looked at earlier. Yards per play, they're number 9. Third down conversion, they're 10. 2 on fourth down, they're 14 in the red zone, they're number 8. So they are basically a top 10 offense. They are definitely a top 10 offense. The run game, they've been missing Pacheco. That leaves a little bit to be desired for them. But overall, the reason why they're not as good as what because we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not like they're not still good. I think one of the things for them, they just don't have the explosiveness on the outside that they used to have. They just don't have it. Patrick Mahomes is, man, I'm telling you, ever since Tyreek Hill left them, they just haven't been the same. They just seem to go down every single year because it doesn't seem they've been able to replace Tyreek Hill. They're 11th in passing, 18th in completion, 13th in yards, 3 in passes per game, pass yards per game, number 2, interceptions thrown at number 13, sack number 10. I mean, they're still doing their thing. It's just it just isn't working for them. And somebody brought the stat up earlier. One of their main problems is playing on the road. Yeah, this is a big game for them. This is a big game for them. So flipping back over to the defense, I bring this all up because they're beating the Cowboys defensively in so many categories. Opponents' yards per play, they're only doing 5.4. That actually should be in green. Opponents' points per play, only 0.33. Opponents' completion percentage, 69. Opponents' third down conversion, 41. Opponents' red zone percentage, 54.84. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they are a top-ranked defense. But as it pertains to the Cowboys in those first 9 games, man, we were we were a joke on defense, man. We were struggling bad. Bad. So, but I want to pull this up just in case y'all didn't get a chance to see this yesterday. When you look at the Cowboys, though, over the last 2 weeks, this is a pretty astounding number to look at. The Cowboys overall, they were 31st. They points per game, 31st. Total yards per game, 31st. Rush yards per game, 29th. Takeaways, they were tied for 23rd. And sacks, they were tied for 17th. But when you look at them the last 2 games, week 11 and 12, we said, oh, it's the Raiders. Then they came back against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, they ranked 11th. They ranked 11th in the last 2 games in points per game, held those teams to an average of 18.5. Total yards per game, 287.5. That ranked them 7th. Rush yards per game, they're ranked 2nd. They are 45. I think the Cowboys have allowed 90 yards on something like 30 carries. Rush yards per game, so it's basically 45 yards a game. Takeaways, and man, they held Saquon Barkley to what, 20, 22 yards? Takeaways, they had, I think they had what, 3 over the last 2 games, so that's 1.5. They're tied for 8th, and so they've had 5 sacks, obviously, over the last 2 games. That's 2.5. They're tied for 7th, and if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys have right now, I guess over these last few games, they have the top pressure rate in the game. Cowboys defense, man, they have stepped way up. So the numbers that we're looking at right now, even though they're current, they're skewed because they also include 9 games of the pre-Quentin Williams, Logan Wilson issue. Now, when we look at the defensive position comparison, I'm still going to give the Kansas City Chiefs the overall edge by position. I think the Cowboys defensive line, I think it's the best defensive line in football right now, pretty much. Linebackers, I'm going to kind of give that a wash with Overshown, Wilson, and the Cowboys rotation. But I'm still going to give the edge to Kansas City at the cornerback position, safety position. But most of all, here is the other factor for the Kansas City Chiefs and why I'm giving them overall better than the Cowboys defensively, and until they show us what they do against them. Steve Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo. This dude can coach defense, y'all. Stephen White, what up? This dude can coach defense. He can coach some defense, and I'm telling you. Brian Schottenheimer he's going to have to come out on all cylinders. All cylinders. He's got to come out. Newhouse fam. Now, let's understand. I always say this about the stats. You can't throw away the stats. You cannot throw away the stats because the stats are a part of the story. Everything, Newhouse fam, is a part of the story. The box score is a part of the story. The stats are a part of the story. And the film is a part of the story. And as it pertains to George Pickens, we don't have to watch. We don't have to watch. Let me tell you something. Nobody is saying that George Pickens is the best wide receiver in the league based on stats. There's the stats with George Pickens, it's just proving the point of what everybody is seeing on tape. Since CeeDee Lamb went down, what was that game? What was it? Game 2 or 3? Since CeeDee Lamb went down, George Pickens has been the most dominant wide receiver in the game. And the only reason why he was not dominant in the Denver Broncos game, go look at the tape. The Cowboys wouldn't throw it to him. That's why he didn't dominate the Denver Broncos game. They should have won that Denver Broncos game with him. They could have won the Arizona Cardinals game. The Cowboys, because they got this anxiety, and we need to drop this. They need to get this out of their head. Drop the anxiety, because they're creating some of it. Drop the anxiety of, yeah, we're going to do this with CeeDee, and we don't need to hear what you're going to do with CeeDee. And that's the cold hard facts. We don't need to hear what you're going to do with CeeDee. Because the majority of us know, okay, CeeDee Lamb, what is he right now? Leading the league in drops? Okay, it is what it is. He's leading the league in drops. But we also still know he's a top 5 wide receiver. So you don't have to keep reminding us and everyone else. I know what they're doing is psychology, because, guys, Newhouse fam, everyone else, let me tell y'all something. Jimmy Johnson would not be coddling CeeDee Lamb. Jimmy Johnson would not be coddling Michael Irvin. Jimmy Johnson told Troy Aikman, and I quote, "You cannot play quarterback for me throwing interceptions." We got to stop creating this anxiety in ourselves. It is a fact. It is not conjecture. Right now, George Pickens is arguably the best wide receiver in football. And the stats are just, the only thing the stats do is when we look at the stats, we go, wow, that's what he did? Because we all watched the doggone Raiders game. We all watched the Philadelphia game, and George Pickens was out there just mousing folk. This dude was unstoppable. Dak Prescott himself said it. Dak Prescott said yesterday at the press conference, what did he say? He said George Pickens is unstoppable. Dak Prescott said that. I've been saying it. Dak Prescott said that. We got to get over this anxiety. If the man is unstoppable, he's just unstoppable. And it's the truth. There's nothing else to argue about. And the stats, no, don't you ever throw away the stats. Don't you ever throw away the stats. Don't you ever throw away the box score. Because they are all a part of the story. Because when those things align, it's a beautiful thing. And George Pickens is not just a stat. He's not just a stat guy. The stats are just showing, or just when we're not watching the film, the stats are just telling us what he's doing. This dude is killing the game right now. And everybody is acknowledging it. And the funny thing is, even the people who are not acknowledging it, they're not saying he's better than CeeDee Lamb. They're just saying what I'm saying. He's the best wide receiver in the game. That's not offensive. That's the truth. I mean, that's the truth. He's the best wide receiver in the game. And the stats are just showing us all of this. He's balling. But again, all of this is a part of the story. All right, let's keep going. I got about 11 minutes.
Yes! Here we go!
Key matchups for the week. This is what we need to be watching for tomorrow. Dak versus Mahomes. Yeah, we got to watch that. I think early on, Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes both are going to be willing and dealing. But I'll talk about that more in the storyline part. Key matchups, Dak Prescott versus Patrick Mahomes. I know they're not going to be on the field at the same time, but you better believe both of them have in their mind they are going against each other, and it's going to be a fantastic game. Key matchup, George Pickens versus the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. I'm just telling you right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to make a decision with George Pickens. I got a feeling that Steve Spagnuolo is going to make a business decision. Because right now, and we haven't even seen it in action, but the only way I can see a team stopping George Pickens is you're not going to be able to just put him in a zone. You're not just going to be able to put somebody over the top. No. You're going to have to pay special attention to George Pickens if you want to beat the Cowboys, or at least if you want a chance to beat the Cowboys. You're literally going to have to put somebody over the top and somebody underneath. And I mean, you're going to have to find a way to stay glued to him. Man, I saw something today that was absolutely insane. George Pickens. And this is why people are talking about it. He's the best one in the game. Guess who got the most tight window catches right now in the game? Take a wild guess who it is. You don't have to. His name is George Pickens. He is balling. Steve Spagnuolo, if he comes out here like everybody else and trying to play George Pickens loosey-goosey, they're going to have a long day at the office. George Pickens right now. And I'm telling y'all guys, this has nothing to do with CeeDee Lamb. Let's put that discussion out of here. It's not that discussion. We gotta put some respect on this man's name and just acknowledge what he's doing. He's on a historic tear. This dude is balling, and he's a problem for every team that he faces. One of the big matchups is, what will they do to stop George Pickens? Next matchup. Cowboys offensive line versus the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line. They are no slouch. Led by Chris Jones. Now, I tell you this, they've been real lacking on sacks this year. They've been lacking bad on sacks. They haven't been out there balling the way they have in times past. I mean, the Chiefs have really taken, I'm telling y'all, man, the Chiefs have really taken a step back. They have not been as good on defense as they normally would be. And so this may be advantage Cowboys, even with Nate Thomas playing. Because if the Cowboys offensive line can keep Dak Prescott upright, kind of like they did last week, kind of how they did against the Raiders, if you don't get Dak Prescott on the ground, you're pretty much going to be in for a long day at the office. Another big one. We mentioned this earlier. Quinnen Williams versus Mike Caliendo. Don't y'all fool yourself. Don't y'all fool yourself. Kansas City over here talking about they feel real good with him playing because they kind of look at him kind of like a TJ Bass, like, okay, but, we want Booker to be the starter, but if Booker's hurt, hey, Bass is serviceable. Well, he wasn't going up against Quinnen Williams either. That's a tough assignment. Mike Caliendo, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Next matchup, I got a little bit concerned about this. Travis Kelce versus the Cowboys safeties and linebackers. I've learned something about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce hasn't been playing at the level that he's played in times past. But the thing about Travis Kelce, he's still very savvy. He knows how to get into that zone and find the soft spots. Because we already know we're probably going to be running some zone against Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce, I'm a little bit concerned. Another key matchup. And I just keep talking about this. Brian Schottenheimer versus Steve Spagnuolo. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you this is a big deal. And I'm going to tell you why it's a big deal. Both of these teams, I guarantee you both of these defenses have the same plan. Because if I was the defensive coordinator of these two teams, I'm going to do the same thing. Because in actuality, Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes, Colin Cowherd said it best. Dak Prescott with a run game is Patrick Mahomes. Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes are similar. I'm not saying that Dak has the skill set because I think Mahomes is a lot more natural with the skill set, but Dak Prescott nevertheless worked to get that skill set. Dak is cerebral, does a lot of things with the mind, the eyes. I mean, Dak is a very, very savvy quarterback. That's why I say he's a top 3 quarterback in the league. Right now, I think he's number 1. Matthew Stafford's the only one that can argue with this. But if I'm the defensive coordinator going up against these two teams, I'm telling you what my goal is. If I'm Kansas City, I'm going to stop the Cowboys' run game first. If I'm Kansas City, I'm going to stop the Cowboys' run game first. Both of these defenses, I guarantee you, they have the same thinking. Stop these two teams from running and put the entire game. And I know this may sound crazy, but it's probably it's what makes the most sense. Put the entire game on the back of both quarterbacks. Put the entire game on the back of both quarterbacks. And that's why I think we're about to see the duel of a lifetime. This game is going to fall on the back of both Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes. That is where this is going to fall.
Here we go.
Let's look at the offensive keys as we're talking about this. Offensive keys. Dak Prescott will have to be perfect. There's going to be very little room for error. Very little room. They have got to be so mentally into this game. And I do think they'll be mentally into this game because the break isn't as big. They don't even have time to enjoy the Philadelphia win. They got to come right back to the office and get right back to business. Dak Prescott will have to be perfect. Offensive key number 2, Nate Thomas and Terrence Steele are going to have to be on their game. They are going to have to be on their game. The Cowboys, number 3, they're going to have to establish the run and use play action. I've learned something about Brian Schottenheimer. If you can take the run away from Brian Schottenheimer, and I'm just telling you the truth. Thankfully, we got Dak Prescott. When you take away his ability to run, the reality is he's relying on Dak Prescott. He's relying on Dak Prescott to make plays. And I do believe this is what the Kansas City Chiefs, because this is what I would do to the Cowboys. I want to force Dak Prescott. I want to force him to make every single play. I don't want to give him nothing. I don't want to give him no Javonte Williams, 8 yards here and 9. No, I want to stop him. No, Dak, you're going to get every yard. Everything they get. And if they win, it's you. And I think this is going to be the game plan. So the Cowboys, whatever Shotty's going to do, Shotty has got to figure out a way to run the ball. Because I'm telling you, Spag is going to try to stop him from running the ball. Next up.
Yes! Here we go.
If the Cowboys truly want to get CeeDee Lamb back into this game, if they truly want CeeDee Lamb to have a big game, Don't do what you did last week. Don't come out trying to get CeeDee Lamb going early, trying to force the ball to him, whatever the case may be. No. You test them waters early first on George Pickens. Test the waters on George Pickens first. See what their plan is for George Pickens. Because once you can determine what their plan is for George Pickens, then that's going to allow you to do whatever else you want to do with Ferg, CD, Terp, Ryan Flanoy, and the whole 9 yards. See first if Spags is going to try to take away, see if he's going to try to take away Pickens. Because I'm telling us, man, Pickens is a huge key to the Cowboys winning this game. Whether he has another big game or just the fact that they try to take him out of the game. Either way, that is an advantage for CeeDee Lamb and the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys don't need to come out and try to force the funk. Yeah, we're going to force the ball to CeeDee Lamb, or we're going to try to get CeeDee Lamb going early. We going to him. No, don't do that. Right now, the hot hand is George Pickens. No discussion. Let the offense first run through him to see what they're doing. And then when they tell you how they're going to deal with him, now you know how you can deal with CeeDee Lamb. And then you can take advantage of their defense with CeeDee Lamb. Pickens early. Don't do what you did last week. You got down 21. You only gave him, I think it was only, one target? No, don't do that in the first half again. And that's why the next key is don't force it to Lamb.
Yes! Here we go!
Don't force Lamb back into the game. Let it happen organically. Also, look at the coverages they're putting on CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott has got to stop forcing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, we all want to see CeeDee Lamb bounce back, but I don't want them to force CeeDee Lamb back. I don't want them to come out intentionally saying, hey, the first 10 passes are going to CeeDee Lamb. Stop it. Stop it. Be smart. See what they're giving you. And first and foremost, see what they're giving you with George Pickens. Because George Pickens opens up the offense. He absolutely opens it up. Because he's a different type of wide receiver. Next up, Jake Ferguson.
Yes! Here we go!
We need to see a little bit more from Jake Ferguson. We need to see a little bit more from Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson, man, he has not been, man, this dude has not been playing all that great. I'm sorry, you don't pay a possession receiver that kind of money. You don't pay a possession receiver that kind of money. Nah, bro, we need you to be a little bit more dynamic than just 10 yards here and 8 yards there. No, we need you getting down the field. Next, and the Cowboys need to score 30 points.
Yes! Here we go!
All right, let me finish this up. Matter of fact, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and hit this again tomorrow even harder. I'm going to leave out a couple of pages. I want to get to the Chiefs. I want to get to the defensive keys, and then I want to get to the score. Y'all make sure y'all put those scores in my email. It's time to get them jerseys. And I need the exact scores. I ain't giving y'all the jersey for being close. All right, let's finish this. Next up, Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus last week got 8 stops against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's a tall glass of water against the Kansas City Chiefs. But if he can get 6 stops against the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Cowboys can win. They need to force 3 turnovers. I really think the way to win this game is the turnovers. And one of the ways you can get them is pressure up the middle against Patrick Mahomes.
Yes! Here we go!
We saw the Philadelphia Eagles do it in the Super Bowl. This is how you stop Patrick Mahomes. Pressure up the middle. Stop the run. I think Matt Eberflus is going to have to blitz, and more blitz, because the key to this game is stopping the run and getting this dude, Patrick Mahomes, on the run. The defensive front needs to be dominant, and the Cowboys need to play physical.
Yes! Here we go!
We'll cover these other pages tomorrow. Special teams. Brandon Aubrey again, only extra points. Kickoff, field position. Now, Turpin needs to be better on kickoff and punt returns. He needs to be better. We also need more big plays. I would love to get some more big plays from Clark and company because it's been 2 weeks in a row and the special teams have came up big. Sam Williams against the Arizona Cardinals, a block punt. Marshawn Nealon recovered it in the end zone. This week we had Elijah Clark make an incredible play, caused the fumble. Him and we know now it was him and the safety. And then of course Sieg recovered it. But we need more big plays from special teams. They come up big in these they've come up big in these games, and we gotta get them to help us out again. All right, let me give you my thoughts as we end. All right, we're gonna cover this again tomorrow. We got a lot more material coming up tomorrow. I'll be dropping some videos tonight too. Here's my thoughts on how this game is gonna go. Dak and Mahomes will be electric. I believe they're going to be electric because both of these defenses are going to try and put these games in the hands of both of these quarterbacks. Next, Cowboys defense will rise to the occasion again. I think the Cowboys will get pressure on Mahomes. Defense will be the difference for Dallas. I think the defense comes up big again. Dak will outduel Patrick Mahomes. I believe Dak outduels Patrick Mahomes at home. Pickens comes up big again. Playoff atmosphere, and it will be the most watched game of the year. My prediction as I get out of here, y'all make sure y'all send those to my email address. But I believe the Cowboys are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs 37-24. 37-24. But if things don't go right, Cowboys turn it over, can't run the ball, my other prediction will be the Cowboys will lose it 31-27. But I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe the Cowboys are winning this game 37-24. Y'all send those scores to my email address. I'll see y'all again sometime tonight, dropping videos and whatever else I'm going to do. And then we're going to be football all day tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace.